Ahoy mateys! Welcome aboard the SS Bright Coal for episode 4 of the series called Grade My Logo. In this series, I take church logos that you have submitted and I grade them against the 3 S's. If you want to learn a little bit more about the grading process and what the S's are, I'll explain those in episode 1. I think there's a link up here. But yeah, I'm really excited about today's because we're going to try and do the unthinkable and actually grade more than one logo in the episode. I don't know how if we're going to do it, if it's going to work. I'm probably going to be talking really fast and kind of blazing through these. I don't know. I don't want it to be really long. I just want you guys to see more looks in a shorter amount of time. And I like to just try to stretch and tweak and finagle and try and make these things a little bit better each time we go through them. So, if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe so you don't miss any more of these because they're just going to get better, I think. We'll see. I don't know. Let's jump in. Alrighty, One Mission Church. So we've got our 1 and our M here. This looks like Futuro. We've got a lightweight and a heavyweight version going on. So we against the 3 S's, does it work in single color? Yes. Does it scale? Are all the elements pretty clear at much smaller or larger sizes? Yes, I would assume if you're going to go like wide format, you would just move this dude over to the side or some kind of way. This is definitely your profile pic, so yeah, checks off that box. And does it tell your unique story? Yeah, I think it does a decent job there. I think that one of the ways we can improve, I might touch on later. But first, let's just clean up what we've got, what we're looking at right here. What would I do if you're telling me, hey Josh, you've got 15 minutes, what are you going to do to make this a little bit better? First of all, we don't need the background here. That can certainly be a brand color, but we don't need it in the logo. Just makes these things a little bit lower contrast, and we don't need this box either. This little dude can float all by his lonesome. And another thing, I like that this is lowercase and fits here, but another look or another concept that might could work is taking and using the uppercase M from this same family. Reason being, one, it makes a little bit of a bolder shape, but also if you've got hard corner, line, hard corner, and then everything here is round, I would do that. And we'll just kind of quickly take a look at what that would look like. Copy up here, create an outline. Zibbity-doop-boop-boom. Subtract that mother. I might need to adjust where that line happened. Yeah, I don't like that at all. We're going to scoot him over here. Go to outline mode. Zoom in a bit. Trying to line up with that top corner right there. And I'll show you why in a second because it's just going to flow a teeny baby bit better. Now we're going to scoot this up so he matches. All right, so that is one take that might work. If you're going to go down that road, I would argue, hey, we got to go One Mission with the logo too. And go with the lighter version here. I actually don't have the Futuro book. There we go. So maybe like this. Like if you're jet set on some of the choices that are made here, I might go down like this kind of road. Let's get our colors back. Boom. And here. Clean up our tracking a little bit on some of these guys and our spacing. All right, so that's like my 8-second fix would be potentially to capitalize, but I think there's enough distinction here, and I just personally think this creates more of a solid shape than what we've got here. And it kind of, this plays better as an icon than these two separate. That's my personal opinion. I honestly think that this is pretty solid, and it ties better in with the word mark down here. The other idea that I had that would make this much more uncopyable for other churches down the street. So that third S that we talk about in some of the other episodes, and I don't have time to actually execute it here, but I wanted to kind of just show you would be for this to be a flagpole. So we've got a number 1, and the reason I say flag is you're thinking about one mission, so tying in both words rather than just focusing on the one. When I think about missions, I'm thinking like, oh, let's like take the hill. Let's go rally around behind a cause. And so having a 1 as your flagpole, and again, this is a quick sketch, and then having, it'd be really, really neat is to have the M work somewhere into this shape. I don't know if we could like tweak these lines so that they become an M, or if the M is just on the flag. But basically do a this style, like a cleaned up version, but this is your concept here, where you've got a flag with the letter N, or with an M in there potentially. So don't have time to really chase that one down. Again, I'm always going to give like the 10-minute answer, and then here's what I would do, and spend 15 hours tweaking to death, and that would be that flag concept. All right, so let me know in the comments if you like this one or my slightly updated version better. I give this a B-. It's solid. You can rock and roll with that, especially if you just do even just this one tweak. Whoop. Even if you just do this one tweak, you're in a pretty good spot here. Moving on down the way, we've got Axis. I got excited about this one because this is a student ministry. And if you guys have been with me any lengthy amount of time, you know that students are my favorite group in the whole church. And yes, I am biased. So they've got, in the set that they sent me, they have, let's leave the original. Let's make a copy over here. They have, they use just this badge by itself, and then they've got Axis with a leader, or Axis middle school and high school. Couple of different variations, just cleaning up the spacing between these a tad, and I think I want that S in a little more. All right. So I'm really going to kind of zero in on this, which I think is cool. I like this tag shape. I like the I just like a lot of the things going on here. It checks off the first 2 boxes like a lot of these do. It does tell a story. I wouldn't give it like full marks there because it really is just kind of a cool looking A, but you could make an argument about an Axis kind of shape. This is strong though. I like it. I think it could be even better with just a few small modifications. I give this one an A-. I think that might be the highest grade I've given one so far. I'm not sure. But let's go ahead and jump into some tweaks. So like I said, this little notch here in the A is one of the first things that I want to take a look at. And the reason being, again, is once you get zoomed out or you're embroidering it or doing something like that, those lines are going to get... all right, so scooted that up. It might even be like super negligible. Most people wouldn't even notice, which is one of my favorite ways to do things. And when these updates is the people that aren't super paying attention don't even notice or care. But for all the rest of us nerds, it looks cooler. All right, so one thing that I am thinking about is... we've got soft edges on, or soft points on all these. Round, 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 sharp, sharp, round. And then these are all sharp points. And then everything out here is pretty sharp, right? So I'm trying to figure out what's the balance or what's the logic behind this. Like, if we round these just a skosh, does it break? Does it fall down? And why is this a sharp line and like an angle here when we've got a round, like horizon of the earth kind of shape going on right here? What happens if and I'm just scooting this up to test it out here. Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. Why do we have 2 points there? Who did this business? All right, this makes me nervous about this overall shape. We need to center everything. We're gonna draw a guide. Call in the dogs. We gotta fix this. Okay. So yeah, he's a little bit off center, and some designer buddies of mine will argue that I'm a little too meticulous about some of that stuff sometimes. But I think there's some magic in the like uber precise measurements sometimes. Not always. Sometimes you just gotta run with it, but sometimes those little tweaks can make or break your logo. Let going to sharpen these again just for the sake of the exercise. That one was for free. Okay. So now we've got this line matches, or pretty close. This rounded edge matches that one. I'm going to pull this back down. I'm going to do this and get him lined up with the top of the A. This lined up with the bottom of the A. Oh, shoot. I got to grab all three of these or else it's not. That beautiful curve that we just made is going to go away. All right. So, again, small tweaks. Made this rounded to match that. Increase the height of this to make it a little bit more dramatic and to be more clear at different sizes. And then adjusted some spacing here. But largely, it's a similar deal. I just think this kind of punches you in the face in the right way a little bit harder. Let me know which one you think is better. Again, big round of applause for our A- over here. I think it is just peachy as is. That's what I would do if you said, hey, what you going to do in 15 minutes to make it better? My longer answer fix for it might be to really explore some of the symbolism behind axes and, getting into the spirit. And if I was going to call with them, like getting into the spirit of why is the name of the ministry Axis, and is there some other visual other than like the face value, like Axis word that we can play off of that embodies the spirit of what they're doing. But yeah, anyway, moving right along to bachelor number 3, Rivers Crossing. Cool. So, this one is clear and single color. It is in single color. It scales pretty well. One of the things that I'd be nervous about with the scaling is these dudes. They are very thin. And I have a theory as to why they might be that thin. We'll talk about that in a second. Does it tell your unique story? Depending on your imagination. So I looked at this and maybe I'm being generous. I don't know. I immediately saw, okay, cool. That's like a river shape. And they've got the cursive R there. Maybe that was me filling in some gaps. Maybe let me know if you see it or don't see it too. But that is definitely a cool route to go with this. And so I'm giving them marks for that. I think it's pretty fresh. I give this one a solid B. And I would say tweak wise, well, let's go ahead and do it. So this one's solid. We're in uber fast tweak mode. This is fine. I might make some different choices with the type. Just something that has a little bit more personality to it that supports this a little bit better. But this doesn't hurt you necessarily, so we're not going to look at that right now today. I'm all zeroed in on this icon. So like I said, we need to thicken up these two. So what we're going to do is this right here, and we're going to say this one. I would do this by hand. And again, in the longer, more arduous and thorough process here, I would say, hey, let's do this by hand potentially, and make sure like even more enunciate, hey, this is a river kind of flowing between some hills kind of thing. But for this one, I just want to make sure this existing R shape works as well as it possibly can. Whoops. So I actually need to flip that exactly so that these two lines have the same parallel little symmetry going on here. And I do that, and then I immediately like mess with the line. You silly goose. I've got a 4-year-old, and I've gotten into the habit of really softening my insults. So like stupid and idiot are some words we try not to say around him. And so now I find myself in like meetings and stuff saying the same thing. Oh, that's a silly idea. That's not the word that I want to say. All right, so let's do this. So this kind of accomplishes our scalability. I think this is cool. I think that one thing that could make it even more interesting is if we, and I'm doing this kind of like haphazardly, not like super precisely because we're using the eraser tool. Again, you give me some more time, I'm going to make this puppy a little bit cleaner. But this is close enough for rock and roll. Oh, shoot. Kill some of these dudes. Don't like these little pointy guys coming out here. Oh, this is a cool time to use this. If you do simplify, It takes out some of like it keeps, you can actually scale up and down. It keeps the like spirit of the line without having 1,000 points on it, which is exactly what I want, because I want to control like one or two dudes down here. And it just gets a little crazy when you got too many. Sorry if I'm geeking out for you, those of you guys who are not Illustrator nerds. I'm just trying to let y'all know what gets me excited about the day. It is things like the simplified tool in Illustrator. So you may say that's not a big change, but opening up this just creates another level of making this an interesting mark, and it gives you kind of a baseline for this art. All right, so there's the two. Let me know what you think about the edits and which one you think is better. Thanks again for your time. I think we crushed 3 logos today in one video. I think that's crazy talk. Woo! Okay, so that was a lot. I'm a little bit sweaty from all that logo tweaking and finagling. Hope you enjoyed it. Actually, let me know in the comments if you like this format where we work through a couple of logos faster, or if you like some of the previous episodes better where we take a deep dive on a single logo. Let me know, so I'll kind of take that into consideration for future episodes. Also, thank you everyone who submitted actual vector working files for the logos on today's episode. That allowed me to, again, move faster. I wasn't recreating any elements. That was a big help, thank you. That being said, if you go to grademylogo.com and submit your logo for review, and all you got's a screenshot or a Facebook profile picture, that's okay. I'm not gonna not review it because of that, but it does help me out when there's a vector version. Yeah, so guys, until next time, adios. And if you haven't seen it already, check out episode 3. It was one of my favorites from this series so far. I already signed off, but I'm gonna sign off again. Adios, deuces, peace out, A-Town down.